Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Best Ever You show. I'm your host, Elizabeth Hamilton-Guarino, here with the marvelous Terri Cole, the author of multiple books. Her latest one is called Too Much. We're going to be talking about that. But Terri, welcome to the 16th season of the Best Ever You show. Can you believe that? Uh,
Wow. Congratulations, Elizabeth. Good for you.
It's it's right here, all in the office here with all tiny kids. Now they're all grown up, but I want to do take a moment as I was telling you, just a serious moment for a second. Mel, the podcast kitty, has passed away, and
Oh.
I know I my heart. I put a video out on Friday and Saturday and Sunday too, I think, and
Mhm.
but she was lovely, a lovely cat that we rescued down in Kittery, Maine, and I smiled because she would want me to smile. I think she was just so pretty, and she lived in here, and she was a feral cat, and we just applied love. You know how you apply love to a feral cat, and they turn into just pure love.
Yep.
That was Mel, and she loved our guests. And Terry, she would have loved you. She would have been sitting
Baby.
right about there, and she would
Mm.
listen. She was like her own master life coach in a way.
So let's just say that we're calling in the spirit of Mel right now to be with us during our podcast experience.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. I know you like
Sure.
you have a rescue. You said you had a rescue pit bull.
I do.
That's a special, breed to rescue as well, right?
Yes. She was a baby though. So it's a little bit easier than, so we had her since a puppy. She's turning 2 in October.
Oh, so cute. So thank
Babe.
you for being here. I know the Best Ever You Network is going to love you. I wanted to
Mhm.
just start. Everybody, I always say the website up front. So go to terricole.com. It's spelled TerriCole.com. And right off the bat, you can go get a free gift. We'll mention it at the end too, maybe a few times actually. Get you all over to Terry's website. But if you type in terricole.com/HFC, she's got a gift for you. Tell us about all about it, Terry.
Sure. It is a gift for high functioning codependency. So that's what my last book was about. And in this little toolkit, I just created a high functioning codependency toolkit because there's usually we talk about so much that can be overwhelming. So I have a video and a PDF called Simplify and Do Less. I'm also in there. That package is a self love meditation and the power of no meditation, and also a link if you want to go buy the book.
Beautiful. Now, I saw you. I was like, "Oh, I've got to have her on the show. Please, please, please." I saw you on Good Morning America. I
You
thought that
did.
was the coolest thing ever. I'm like, a colleague is right there. I was so proud of you in that moment.
Thank you.
I hope you could hear me screaming because my husband's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "She's on."
I was
Was
so
that
nervous, but thank you.
was that just so much fun
So
or
much fun.
nerve-wracking
Oh,
or just everybody cool?
no, it was so much fun. I had a fun, an interesting experience. That was like one that because that was a few years ago now. That was one of the biggest shows that I had done,
Yeah.
and I like blanked out for a second, like which I had never had happen to me ever. Like, and I've done tons of television, but this was a big show,
Yeah.
And she asked me a question, and I just slowly repeated the question. And then the answer came, and I was like, "Oh, thank God." And I did not watch that video of me on that show for about 2 months. Like, I couldn't. My team was like, "No, you look normal. What are you talking about?" And I was like, "I thought I looked like a deer in the headlights," but when I did finally watch it, it was fine. It's amazing what's happening on the inside of your body can be very different than what's happening to the outside world, you know?
Right? Yeah, I know. But I was really, really proud of you, and I think those moments are so important for us as authors. It
Mhm.
just shines a little spotlight on all your hard work and everything that you've been doing, and because it's not easy, especially during the pandemic and after, to just kind of
Mhm.
sit alone here in our offices and write books and do podcasts and
Yeah.
do all these things. Do you get a little lonely every once in a while?
I mean, I'm grateful that I live with my husband
Yeah, me too.
and my chickens and my geese and my dog. So there, and I live near my closest sister. So work wise, and I have a great team
Yeah.
that So I'm interacting with people all day, but I do love to get out and travel. I make sure that like I'm going to LA in like 2 weeks, where I'm going out to do some podcasts, and I'd make sure that I socialize enough because I really am a social person. So
Yeah.
when I'm writing a book, I find that becomes very isolating. Even though I'm doing, someone on my team is helping me, I've got an editor who's helping me, but it's still like that is like lone wolf
Yeah.
work
Yep.
for me, writing books. And I know you have your own experience of that. For a social gal and for an extrovert, book writing, wow, is like the least natural thing to do in the world because I just want it to be done, everything to be done by committee. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I sometimes have to force myself to be like super extroverted, but I get what you're saying though. It's like, okay, I'm really laser focused in on this process, and
Right.
it's got to kind of be quiet and not a lot of distractions and things like that. I actually, um, I actually just started teaching gymnastics
I
at
love that.
night for all the little kids, and it is so much fun. I'm in my 3rd week
Yeah.
now, and that has kinda helped a little bit just to get out there and do things a little bit more and stuff, so, yeah. But we
You know
leave
what?
do you leave? Do you so I heard you
Mhm.
travel. We leave
Yep.
the East Coast actually and leave for the winter and go down to South Carolina for 3 months. Do you ever do anything
Nice.
like that? Yeah, we started doing this in COVID. We're like, we can work from anywhere."
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. We've been talking about it, but it's hard when you have barnyard animals.
Yep. Yeah, one of our older sons stays here with his dog and takes care of the cats. So, yeah,
Mm.
I know. I know. I got the same thing. I worry about him the whole time too. So,
Yep.
what I wanted to talk about is, thank you for the personal side of things too. I want to go kind of professional on you a little bit here because you
Mhm.
didn't always do what you do now. And if you could
Correct.
for me, we've got a lot of young listeners. Can you kind of I almost want you to take us back to kindergarten. I always ask our guests what they were like in kindergarten. Take us there, but then jump a little bit. I really would love to hear your career path because I think one of the things I'm noticing is people think, especially kids, they think they're supposed to have it like all figured out at age 17.
Mm.
Graduating high school and I'm going to college and I know what I'm going to do. And oh man, yeah,
Mm-mm.
I told our kids, I'm like, let it simmer, let it percolate, let you
Yeah.
do your own thing to get a feel for the world. Because yeah,
All right. So if I went all the way back, I would
yeah,
say in kindergarten, I had a crush on Billy Roth that I remember
Billy.
very distinctly. I was always interested in boys, even as a little kid, which is funny. Um, when someone asked me in 3rd grade what I wanted to be when I grew up, I said I wanted to be a stripper and a bilingual secretary. So
Wow.
that was an 8-year-old's answer. I don't even know how I knew either one of those things, but no idea. I'm like, okay. But for me, going to school, it's like I feel like there was a lot of things that happened in my life in a haphazard way. I was the youngest of 4
Yeah,
sisters, and I was the first one to go to college in my family. Now, my father went to college as well, but I mean of my
yeah.
sisters. And so there wasn't like some great master plan like today, like parents are so involved. I think it was April of my senior year of high school, and a guidance counselor who was not even my own said, "Are you going to college?" And I said, "Well, I haven't applied to any yet." He was like, "Do you have someone who can pay for college?" I said, "I do." And I was very lucky and privileged that my father had saved money. And he said, "Come in my office." And we applied to colleges right there. That's how I ended up going to my undergraduate at Long Island University. He chose colleges that that basically would accept anybody. No offense to me. So I'm not saying it was the greatest school. But, then I did my master's at NYU. So I feel like I made up for it. But I was very much in love with life all of my life. As a little kid, I was a kid who was not supposed to be born because I was my mother's 4th cesarean section. I was born in 1964. I'm 61. And back then, the way that they did cesareans was like they cut your whole body open. So they were like, "We don't think you're going to be able to carry this pregnancy to term." And she was like, "Oh, I think I will. But thanks for your advice." So they wanted her to abort, and she was like, "No, thanks." And then I was these are the stories. This is the lore that I was the only one who was breastfed, that I was the first one to go to college. All of these stories that I heard about myself. But what my memories are is that my sisters like loved me, you know? And even when they were with their friends, they would want me to come with them. The friends would be like, "Can Terry come?" They'd be like, "Sure." My mother was very attuned. to me as a child. And so I can remember my earliest memories are my mother like bending all the way down and being like, "Wait, what are you saying? You
Oh,
don't want to wear that sweater? It's scratchy. You don't like that? You don't have to wear it. All right, we'll just change it. It's okay." Like,
yeah.
so I grew up believing with women in particular that what I think, how I feel, and what I want should matter if these people are going to be important people in my life.
Mm,
On the juxtaposition of that was my relationship with my father, who was a very successful white collar guy from a very poor background. So him doing well was a big deal.
mhm.
Um, and he should have had sons. And I was his last chance for a son, but I was a daughter.
I know.
So I had the wrong gender vibe going. And I was doing a lot of proving that I
Yeah.
could be more successful than any stupid son he could have had. So there was a lot of that. And so my latest book that comes out next September of 26 is about father wounds
Now it makes sense.
because I grew up with a father wound. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I have
And
a big
so many of
father
my
wound as
clients as
well.
well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Oh.
back to, you want me to go back to career?
Yeah, we have, I'm
Yeah.
gonna stop you for a second. We have so much in common in a way. I like, my parents, a little bit different, but kind of, it's in one of my books too. My parents got divorced at a really young age. And then my dad, was my dad forever from like about age 3. Amazing, amazing, amazing human. But I'm in the middle of
Mm.
11 kids. And boy, am I a fast
Wow.
eater.
Yeah, I bet.
But my mom did the same thing. My mom was so cool. My I never call him stepfather, but my father,
Yeah.
James, he was amazing too. So I had 2 really cool parents eventually, starting at about age 3, but otherwise it would have been a small nightmare. Um,
But that secure attachment to your mother
yes.
and my own secure attachment to my mother always made me feel like it set me up to do what I do in life because I always felt like there was enough love.
Yeah,
Not from my father, but I was so inundated with positive regard
yeah,
from my mother and my sisters that I just grew up thinking, not thinking I was effing great, just thinking I was valuable, just thinking I was a worthy
worthy.
person and that hopefully I could add value to the world in some way. And so I ended up, my first career was in entertainment where I became very successful at a young age. I was running a bicoastal talent agency in New York. And I was 31, I think. And I was literally, it was celebrities and supermodels. I was negotiating contracts with lawyers, even though I wasn't a lawyer, but that was my job.
Yeah.
And I loved it until I didn't. And I got too healthy, right? There was a parallel process of my own psychological evolution in therapy. I started therapy at 19, quit drinking at 21. I was still in college when I stopped drinking, and I was a huge drinker from 12 to 21. I
Wow.
did a lot of drinking. Very lot of addiction within my family. Um, and through therapy, I had this massive realization about my career. Like it just started happening naturally where I just didn't care about the movie deal or the Pantene deal. All I cared about was the mental health of the models and the celebrities that I was working with. I was
Right?
getting everyone into therapy, eating disorder clinics, drug treatment clinics, like long before I was a therapist. I
Uh-huh.
was doing this.
Yeah.
And so I
Caring about
just
people.
realized, yeah,
Compassion.
it, and it's interesting though, where to make the decision to leave was obviously a defining moment to leave entertainment and to go to NYU to become a clinical social worker, basically.
Yeah.
My father was like, "What the F are you doing? Like,
Right?
why? What is going on?" And I said, Dad, I'm actually not happy in this industry. Like, I had become too mentally healthy to stay in entertainment because it was so misogynistic and a million bad things, obviously. Um, and he literally said, "Sounds weird."
That's what he said.
Sounds weird. I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, good thing for you. I don't need anything from you." So,
Yeah.
and then I went on to
to
get
do all
this education that I absolutely love. The second I started going to school, I was like, yeah, this is my destiny without a doubt. And that was in 1997. I graduated.
that. I love it. Yeah, I quit the financial services industry
Mm,
and started Best Ever You, and everybody did the same thing. Like, what in the f are you doing?
yep.
Really seriously. And I'm like, well, I've got this vision that I'm supposed to do something else. you know,
Same.
quite honestly. And for me, it was really feeling like I couldn't be like seven people at once. For me, it was like having four small children at home, trying to hold down a job and do their sports and do their this and do their that. I'm like, I need to be like seven clones. I can't do this. And that was with my husband
Hmm.
helping and everything because my husband's amazing. And we were both
Yep.
like, wow. So we both ended up quitting our jobs in a way and working from home the whole time the kids were small,
Mm,
so we never missed anything. We felt like if we kept going, we were gonna miss things, and it was gonna be not
yeah.
good. So we've always worked
Yep.
from home and things like that, and so pretty
Amazing.
interesting, yeah. But between us, I think you and I, we have, what I'm hearing is if I do my math right, which I'm not so good at math,
Same.
is 7 we have 7 kids, 7 boys between us.
Yes.
We need to do a boy podcast about boys. Oh my god.
Seriously.
Yeah, so mine are
Yeah.
how old are yours?
My kids are in their 40s now.
I love it. Yeah,
So
mine are
when I
20.
came in as a bonus mom,
Yeah,
right, because their mom died when they were little kids. So
yeah.
my husband was widowed when he was 29 with a
Oh,
5, a 3, and a 1-year-old.
oh, wow.
And then I came in about 12 years later.
Yeah,
So he did a lot of solo parenting. He had a terrible second marriage that was totally brutal, that wiped him out financially.
yeah.
And somehow my husband, through all of this, still managed to be an incredibly successful political artist that he still is today. Like he's had a massive career somehow. I don't know how. He just never slept for those years because he would work
Yeah,
while the kids were sleeping. He would work.
yeah, yeah.
And then during the day, he would clean the house and wash the clothes and make food. And I have 7 grandbabies now, too.
Wow, wow, that's amazing. And boys, girls?
Grandbabes, we actually have 2 girls. And then the rest of them are
Oh my
boys.
god, you got a lot of boys
So many
again.
friggin' boys. But
Yeah,
it's funny, I grew up in a family of girls. And so it's interesting coming into a family of boys when I knew nothing. It was like I skipped the terrible twos and I just went headfirst into the terrifying teens
yep,
because that was the situation. And I was so in love with my husband that I thought he could have 44 teenagers. I do not care.
yeah,
Like love is we'll find a way,
yeah,
buddy. Like it's all fine. And of course it was a crap ton of hard work
right.
and family therapy and all the things that you do. But the thing is, to this day, my worst day with Vic and the boys is better than any other day.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yep, I love it, I love it, I love it. Um, and that I can't imagine a worse day.
Mm,
Days are all pretty beautiful. So, right. Yeah,
yeah.
now were you a model? I'm looking at you and you look like you're a
Mm-mm.
supermodel in your own right. Just saying.
Well,
Just
thank
saying.
you.
Yeah. Oh my god, you're so beautiful. And
Aw,
and I
thank
love your girl
you.
energy. I can tell you're a huge supporter of other girls. I can just feel
I
it in
am.
your vibe. I'm like, "Oh, I love
Fact.
her." Yeah,
Yes.
not a mean girl at all. So thank you for being the way you are because it's so cool. Isn't that neat when we love each other
Yes.
instead of like,
Yes.
it's
I
like,
never. And I don't identify with that at all, Elizabeth. When
"No,
people
me
talk
neither."
about, well,
Like,
you know how mean women are to each other, I'm like, I don't.
yeah.
I literally don't. I've had the same friends since Nixon was in office, the same
Well,
7 friends since I was 5,
yeah.
like, and a million other friends along the way. But I've had the most supportive women in my life. And I always talk about this that my girlfriends, my sisters, are as essential to my happiness as my husband and my children and my grandchildren. Like, literally as essential. I travel with my friends still. We all turned 60 a year and a half ago. And
Huh,
so we went on a big, massive vacation, just the girls. We didn't bring our husbands, just us. Like that's a part of my identity too,
yeah,
is being a part of a tribe
yeah.
of women. So important to me.
Yeah. Yeah, we have 4 there's 4 of us that have hung out since we were itty bitty. We just got in a Zoom the other day and we're like, "We need to go somewhere."
Yes,
So
you
where do
do.
you guys go? When you take a trip, my
Puerto
girls are taking
Rico,
me overseas. I'm like, okay, whatever.
right? Puerto Rico, Costa Rica,
Yeah.
um, and then we gather throughout the year too.
Oh, nice.
So a lot of my friends live down the Jersey Shore. I grew up in Jersey, so
Yeah.
I literally just got back from. I handed in my manuscript of my book.
Yep.
My husband was going to Quantico to do some kind of work with the military because he draws live wars for whatever reason. Um, and I left my house and went down the shore to see my girlfriends. I was like, this is how I want to celebrate.
That's so fun. All right, I'm pivoting again.
Okay.
How do we go from all of that to like a topic like codependency? Like
Mm,
what's the draw? Where's that coming from? Because that's a word. There's a couple words that people throw around, and I am
mhm.
always cautious. I'm like, please don't throw around anxiety, narcissism, and codependency
Yep.
lightly. They get like used in everyday conversation, and I'm like, we
Yep.
need to know what these words like even mean.
Yep.
So yeah,
All right.
take it away.
So let's start with, right, the way that the trajectory happened about the topics that I write about. So my
Yeah,
first book was called Boundary Boss, and it was about women and boundaries. Why don't we know what they are? Why don't we know how to set them? Why don't we know how to enforce them? Why are they so terrifying? Why is it a language we are not fluent in? Help, right? And I
right.
knew there is no definable, there's no book that makes it easy where you just go, because people talk about boundaries, but nobody knows what the hell it means. So I just made the definition be what I think it is, which is
Which is,
your boundaries,
hang
right?
on.
I want you to think about your boundaries as your own personal rules of engagement
Yeah,
that let other people know what is okay with you and what is not okay with you.
that's beautiful.
According to Terri Cole, your boundaries are
I
comprised of your preferences, your limits, and your deal breakers.
love it.
So, not all boundaries are created equal because a preference is less important than a deal breaker,
The breaker, yeah.
right? And we need to know what those things are. And those things don't just make up your boundaries, they make up who you are. Your preferences, your desires, your limits, and your deal breakers in life, they
Yeah,
make up who you are as a person. And many of us were taught that to be the cool girl, to be easy breezy, to have no preference, whatever you guys want, you know me, no fuss, no muss.
right.
And what we're doing when we do that, right, is that we're denying the people in our life the privilege of intimately knowing who we are. I'm interested in my friends' preferences. I'm interested in my husband's preferences. It's not everything has to be a problem. It's I'm interested. Do you like this or this? There's nothing wrong with that. So I created this entire step by step process where people can become fluent in the language of boundaries. I give a million scripts, but like everything I teach, we have to go in before we go out because we have to understand, why is it so friggin' hard? Why don't we know? Why are we so conflict avoidant? Why are we afraid to rock the boat?
Yeah,
And for women in particular, because that is what I know. Lots of men read my books and I super appreciate that. And they're like, well, why do you write it from the lens of a woman? I'm like, because that's really what I'm an expert at. That's this the female experience and gaze is what I understand. That most of us were raised and praised to be self-abandoning codependents. This was socially sanctioned behavior. Be a good girl. Where's my happy girl? Turn that frown around. If you don't have anything nice to say,
don't say it. Right.
don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
So we start from this deficit as women when it comes to boundaries.
Mm.
Because we were taught that if you had boundaries, you were bitchy, you were mean, you were selfish, you were self absorbed, you were hysterical, you were all of these things,
Drama.
which
Yeah.
of course is not true. So the myths about boundaries come ahead of the boundaries.
Mm.
So the way that I teach it is that we deal with people. You have boundary first timers.
Yep.
These are people that you've never asserted a boundary with. You have boundary repeat offenders.
Boundary. Okay, boundary first timers.
Yep.
Okay, I'm writing that
Then
down.
we have repeat offenders.
Repeat offenders. Yep.
And then we have boundary bullies.
Oh, yeah.
And then last but not least, we have boundary destroyers.
Oh, yeah. The tramplers.
Yeah. And, so in the book, I just walk you through, and I also have a course where I just walk you through the process of understanding that you, like, it's not enough for you to know your preferences, your limits, and your deal breakers. You have to know them and then have the ability and the language to communicate them when you so choose.
Yeah. I love
Therein lies the rub for most people because they might know it, but they don't know how to say what it is. They're afraid of being confrontational. They're afraid of being mean. They're afraid.
Yeah.
So that's what I walk you through in the book.
I love that. I have an experience with a boundary. I have chosen from a really young age to not drink alcohol ever.
Mm, okay.
Like, one bad year in college. My freshman year of college, not so good. But other than that, just was like in high school and everything. And it was just kind of a boundary for myself because I know I'm similar to you. I probably almost wasn't here. Really, I was born with meningitis and premature and all these things, and
Mm,
just never made my body feel very good. And so I'm like, I can't, it feels like poison to me, kind of thing. And so I was just like, I just am not doing that. So I've gone through my life with like no drugs, no alcohol, really not prescription drugs unless it's something for like strep throat or something like that.
right, right.
Really, really super clean in that regard. I do like ice cream, I will tell you. But anyway, ice cream is my drug. But anyway, so it very interesting. But when you do something like that and you're like, okay, this is just kind of one of my things, you get all sorts of comments. You get alienated. You get, are you with this? Are you with that? What's wrong with you?
Yep,
I don't want to
yep.
invite you. You don't, just all
Hmm.
sorts of funky behaviors towards you. Um, that's one of the reasons why people might be afraid to set boundaries. Where does that fall in? Because I know people
Well,
feel that way. They want to stop doing something or they want to change their life or whatever it is, but they get met at every turn with somebody
yeah.
doing something or here, it won't hurt you, have a drink or I'm like,
I
"Ugh."
think that fear of rejection, right, is probably the biggest reason why we don't set boundaries, right? So, from a biological point of view, we don't want to be excommunicated from the tribe,
Right.
right? Because back in cave people days, you would die if you were kicked out of the tribe. You needed the tribe to live. So, it makes sense. But I think that part of what I teach my clients and my groups is like, now is not then,
Mm,
right? You can be uncomfortable for a moment. You can have an uncomfortable conversation and nobody's going to die because ultimately we're all going to die. But I'm saying
yeah.
that uncomfortable conversation is not going to kill anybody. And so I think that allowing yourself to be a little bit uncomfortable when you start putting boundaries into place that have not been there, when you start putting limits on things that you hadn't put limits on in the past, obviously people are going to notice, right? Because our relationships are dances, as Dr. Harriet Lerner talks about them in the dance of anger, the dance of deception, the dance of intimacy. And so when you start doing a new move on the dance floor with these people you've been dancing with, especially the people you've been dancing with the longest, which is usually family of origin, they're going to be like, hey, now I do this, now you do that. Why are you not doing that? So we have to expect that as we start to change our boundary dances, that people are going to notice and we just have to stand firm. It doesn't mean they're mean. It doesn't mean they're jerks. It means they feel threatened because if you change too much, maybe you won't love them anymore, right? Maybe you will reject them or whatever their unconscious fear is of your changing.
They have to
So
change.
expect
They might have to change a little, huh? That's always interesting.
and actually, but Elizabeth, they
Yeah.
will change. The thing is, when you change your boundary dance, the people that you're in relationship with have no choice but to also do something different because you're not doing the same old dance.
Mm,
And so, the pushback is real.
yeah.
You'll get some pushback, but we always start with lower priority people. So you're not going to start with like your most difficult and most important relationship. Like, no. How
Yeah.
about we just send the friggin' salad back when it's wrong? Right? Why don't we just start with like basic, easy stuff? And it gets easier and easier. I feel like for people, if they're wondering, first of all, how do I know where I need a boundary, because this is a question I get a lot.
Mm.
You can do a quick resentment inventory.
Mm. What's that mean?
S
What's a
It just
quick
means
resentment in the yeah,
bring to mind people right now. You can, and I probably could too.
yeah.
Anyone you're feeling any kind of like residual resentment towards,
Mhm.
and then write down why. What is the situation? And then you're going to write down what is your 50%, right? Like, what could you do? What have you not done? So I give an example in the book that my sister and I both lived in New York City for many years. We each had keys to each other's houses and we would share closets.
Mm.
But I would always tell her if I was going over and asking her, can I borrow this? Can I borrow that? But she would just go into my house and take what she wanted and not tell me. So then I'd be like looking for the thing that she had
Okay.
because I didn't know she had it. So I had to finally put a consequence and say, hey, this is the third time I've asked you to tell me if you're going to borrow something. And if you don't, if you do it again, I'm going to take my key back and then we can't share closets anymore. And my responsibility in that was for the first few times I didn't say anything,
Yeah.
right? So I just was like pissed off about it or made a snarky comment, but I didn't make the boundary ask, hey, please let me know so that I'm not looking for some shit that you have at your house. That would be great, you know?
Yeah.
And we need
My
to be
cold
able to say
shoes.
that.
I can just see it.
Exactly.
Where are
Where
they?
is my scarf is what I want to
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's something that you
Yeah,
guys can take away right now to do, which is just do a resentment inventory and then decide. You don't have to take action right now, but look at it. And what you're going to see is that there is an empowered action that you can take to resolve that resentment,
yeah,
right? To do something, to make it better. Sometimes it means we need to have less contact with people. And I'm
right.
not saying go no contact with everyone in your life. I am saying if someone doesn't respect your boundaries, if someone hurts your feelings, if someone doesn't appreciate you, certainly have a conversation about it if you can. But we have to be very mindful of who we allow in the VIP section of our lives because
Right.
not everyone belongs there.
Yeah, that close circle around you is so important. I'm like, surround yourself with love, people.
Yep.
Surround yourself with love.
Yes.
Ivan Meisner does a really nice um spin on that, like who's in your room. He's got a
Mm,
really good like who are your closest people? Who's there? Kind of thing.
right.
He's pretty clever. He's the head of BNI. He's really nice. He's been on Best Ever You for forever. So, but yeah,
Nice.
I love this. What a fun and enlightening conversation. Actually, I like how you put it into real life terms too. So it's not like some concept that people have to really go googling and figuring out more. So that's really practical and lovely.
Right.
So thank you for that. Do you want to?
Sure.
I know we're kind of funky on time. We said a half an hour, but we're kind of going on. Do you want to
That's
keep
okay.
going? Or yeah, I'm kind of
Yeah.
good with it. So, I would love to know on your book, did you feel personally, were you like, oh, I need to learn this? Or were you, did you have any of those moments where you're like, I'm going to do a deep dive on this or that because this would be really helpful for my own life too? Or we're like, I'm just going to teach this to everybody. Did you have moments like that? Because I know, like one of my books, the Change Guide book,
Hmm.
well, Percolate even. When my dad had his stroke, it threw me for a loop, really
Mm,
for a loop. And I'm like, oh, I don't know how to navigate change very well
mm,
at all, really. And this is a big one. And then I didn't ask for this at all. So how do you
hmm.
navigate this? And so I just kept going on the topic of change, um,
Right.
to the point where I'm teaching all about change now and
Yeah.
how to deal with change, navigate change. Were you like that with this book, or was it something you just innately knew?
No, I did not innately know it. And every single thing I've ever written about, you teach what you most need to learn, is
Yeah,
what they say.
I think so too. Yeah.
And for me, it's extremely true. So I struggled mightily. I was a boundary disaster
Yeah.
in my young life.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the book on codependency. Too much, the latest book, I was so highly codependent. But because I was so highly functioning, it didn't look like codependency. That's the irony of high functioning codependency, which is a phrase, a term that I coined
Yeah, I love it.
because nobody my therapy practice was filled with extremely capable women just like me, just like you,
Yeah.
who when I would say to them, "Hey, what you're describing, this is a codependent pattern. They would immediately reject the notion of codependent. Immediately, they
Like,
would be like, absolutely
'cause it's one of
not.
those, like, taboo words, like anxiety, narcissism, and codependency. It's like, what do
Yeah.
they mean exactly, and why? And how are they
With
showing
with
up? Yeah.
yes, and with codependency, they were like, Terry, I'm making all the money. I'm making all the moves. Everyone's dependent on me. I don't know what you're talking about. And I realized that my clients did not know what codependency was.
Yeah, what is it?
So let's talk about the definition. How I define it.
I
It
wonder.
means that you are overly invested in the feeling states, the decisions, the outcomes, the circumstances,
Wow.
finances, careers, relationships of the people in your life to the detriment of your own internal peace.
Interesting.
Could be to the
I'll
detriment
write
of your
it down.
financial well being,
There you go.
could
Yeah.
be to the detriment of your mental health.
Mhm.
So, what does that mean?
Yeah.
That's the difference between your best friend calls you up and she has a crisis. How quickly does that crisis become your crisis? Probably immediately, right? Which is different than saying, of course, I'm going to help my friend. It's different than saying, of course, I have compassion for my friend. What happens when you're a high functioning codependent is that now you take on that problem. You feel responsible for solving and fixing that problem.
Yeah.
So the behaviors that we see in HFCs, because for me, when I went back to my therapy clients after coining this phrase and really doing lots of research on it, and I was able to say, I think you're a high functioning codependent, they would go, I am, right? They would, I'm the problem. It's me. Not to quote Taylor Swift, but I will,
I love Taylor Swift.
right?
You're in good company. Gillette
There
night.
we go. I
Sorry.
love it. So, so what does it look like, right? What does it look like to be a high functioning codependency? A high functioning codependent, it's feeling responsible to fix other people's feelings, like immediately,
Yeah.
right? It's feeling exhausted, resentful, kind of bitter when people don't take your advice, right? We put all this time and energy into other people's problems and then they
Advocate
don't
so
do it.
clearly, right, for other people. It's like, here it all is
Of
mapped out
course.
for you. That's all you
Right.
have
We
to
know
do.
what you should do. Just freaking do it, please. So we
Yeah.
have auto advice giving. We have being overly self sacrificing. We have auto accommodating,
Yeah.
where you find yourself out in a situation and it's not even your situation. Two people want to sit together. You're like, I'll move. Right. We're managing our environment, not just our personal relationships. So I saw this as a different quality than the regular garden variety of codependency,
Which is
where with regular garden variety is not, high functioning. The problem with high functioning codependency is that the more capable you are, the less codependency looks like codependency, but it's still codependency.
yeah.
So nobody thinks of you, right? If we say garden variety, if we're talking about codependent no more, we would say it's somebody involved with an alcoholic,
That's what
waiting at home,
I'm thinking, yeah.
calling the
Feeling like
hospitals,
yeah.
right? So there's the dependency. We are desperately trying to control someone else's behavior, which is present in both high functioning and regular codependency. We, well, at its core, if you were going to take one thing away about codependency, high functioning or otherwise, at its foundation, it is a covert or overt bid to control other people's outcomes.
Interesting. Very
We don't
interesting.
want you to feel bad. We don't want you to fuck up your job. We don't want you to get fired. We don't want you to marry the idiot. We are constantly trying to control what other people do. And we think we're doing it out of love. And we are. But we're also doing it out of fear.
What I hear right now is the whirl of a helicopter, like is that, does it go into parenting as well?
Of course.
That's what I'm
You
like.
know it does.
Yeah, because we all want our birdies to fly, but we want them to fly and be okay and fly and don't make that
Yep.
you
Yep. But
and
what anyone who's identifying with this right now, if you're identifying with this, if you're like, oh my God, that's me, don't worry. I'm
Yeah.
going to give you one thing that you can start doing right now. That if this is the only thing you changed, I sincerely believe it would change your life.
Oh, I love it.
If if you are a high functioning codependent, if you are an auto advice giver, if you are an auto fixer, instead of doing that, you're
Yeah.
going to ask expansive questions. So whether this is a 6-year-old, a 16-year-old, or a 60-year-old, if someone comes to you, they have a problem, before you weigh in, and I'm not saying you're never going to give anyone your opinion again, that's ridiculous and unrealistic, but it shouldn't be the first stop on the bus. So the first thing you're going to do is say, all right, before I say anything, tell me what you think you should do.
Beautiful.
6, 16, or 60, it doesn't matter.
You just lobbed it back. I love it.
Yep.
It's balls in your court.
And then what happens? You learn about your 6-year-old. Maybe your 6-year-old says, I think I should go in tomorrow and punch Timmy in the face. You can go, "Oh, okay, so let's think about that critically. What would happen? Like what we're getting when we ask expansive questions and then create the generous space to really listen and be present with our people. Because here's the thing about love. People think that, being there for everyone and fixing all the problems, like that's some big flex on love. And the truth is, the biggest flex when it comes to love is being with someone during a dark night of the soul in the foxhole and being willing to compassionately witness them, ask them, "Hey babe, what can I do?
Yeah.
Is there anything? How can I best support you right now? I can do nothing. I can just lay here with you. I can make you a cup of tea. Is there anything I can do?"
Love it.
Instead of assuming you know
Right?
what they need,
Neat.
which you don't,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And what happens when we start asking these expansive questions and we listen with our whole heart is that we deepen the intimacy in our relationship so much. It's so beautiful because your attention is the most expensive coin you're ever going to spend. That is the greatest gift to give someone. Get off your fucking phone.
Right?
I have a basket in the front of my house. Everyone walks in, I'm like, put your motherfucking phone in that basket. I do not care.
Yeah.
I'm not looking at the top of my niece's heads while they're visiting me. I could be doing something else too. So I don't need to you don't need to be scrolling Instagram while you're in my presence. You don't. I need you to listen with your ears and your eyeballs.
Yeah.
Call me extra. I don't care.
No, 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 I agree. We have these discussions all the time. Like I've literally seen our entire house in the living room with everybody on their phone at once. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, time out, everybody, hand them over, kind of
Yeah.
thing. Everybody's home, and
Yep.
and just for a little bit, it doesn't have to be too crazy, but because
No.
people
No,
have
but
jobs or working or
of course,
whatever.
but even just
Just
making sure
just
dinner
2 minutes.
time.
Just hey, we're all right here. Let's look up on
Yes.
our phones. Okay,
Or if you're watching a movie, watch a movie.
yeah, watch it.
Don't watch a movie and scroll Instagram,
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. We these
you
these
know?
little things are all the time, everywhere. Um,
Yeah.
I'm going to take this just for our listeners because we have a lot of parents out there, and I want to talk
Mhm.
about. We've got a lot of parents, and I've been going through this too, and we've all been talking about it. When the kids are out of the house, where I'm at this moment in my own life where the kids are 24, 26, 28, and 30. And
Mhm.
one of the things that COVID did was it brought everybody back for a little bit, so we had some bonus time,
Yep.
and they went back. Everybody was kind of back and forth a little bit because they were all in college at once, and then all at home on college on Zoom at once, and just all sorts of stuff. And now they're really actually all out, but for one. And
Mhm.
it's a real big change. That there, we really
Mhm.
literally have empty rooms. I mean, there's empty rooms. There's.
Mhm.
I noted the laundry the first time when everybody went to school, but
Mhm.
now it's really actually, like, quiet. The
Yeah.
food everything's just changing and so forth, and,
Mhm.
um, it's really interesting because your relationships with your adult children shift as well. They
Mhm.
don't need your advice for every little thing, they don't need
Mhm.
to do shopping, they don't need there's all sorts of things that change. Any advice
Yep.
there for us wonderful And
Mhm.
I don't love the word empty nester. It bugs me. But, just
No. You
there's
know,
gotta be a better term than empty nester. It's so bleh. Like, but I want my
Gretchen
buddies to
Rubin
fly. Yeah, because my kids,
no,
I mean,
Gretchen
yeah, what's
go
she
ahead.
say? I love Gretchen Rubin. What's she say?
She came up with a new term
I need it.
called open door.
Yeah, like, that's what I feel like. I'm like, "You're welcome back anytime. Come for dinner,
Right.
come for lunch, what laundry, whatever you wanna do." But for the most part, we're real, like, "You're good, fly, do your
Yep.
thing," and, because we had one son who was a professional baseball player, he was overseas for a year with his
Wow.
fiancée, and just they're all over the place. Um,
Mm,
so, can he because you can really, muck that up.
you can.
Yes.
I think you have to have, part of it is realize that you're gonna have, there's gonna be what I call the in between, right? When we're in transition,
Yeah,
things what happens is we have homeostasis in the family system when the kids were all home, even though it was crazy, but there was a certain amount of
yeah,
equilibrium
yeah,
there. Then they start moving out and the apple cart gets toppled, and
right?
then we come and find our new normal, our new equilibrium. So give yourself a minute if you feel sort of disoriented around having your open door, as we'll call it
My
now,
open door policy.
um, and start really focusing on reconnecting. If you're still partnered, you want to focus on reconnecting
Yeah,
with your partner and planning things, because when we raise children, we spend our lives prioritizing children just naturally. Good parents just do it naturally.
right.
Like a healthy family system, when you have children, is that it is children focused, but not children obsessed. And those are two different things, right?
Yeah.
Children focused, meaning if you have something to do in school, we're aware of it. We will drive you where you need to be. You will have the right clothing and the right food, and everything will be
That's just
clean and
homework
those
for
things.
you.
Exactly.
Your science
And
project is your science project, even if it's due
correct.
tomorrow.
That's
Sorry.
right. I guess you're going to be tired. Good luck. Here's some aluminum foil. Um, I hope you can figure it
Right?
out. Uh,
Those are the worst. Did you have kids ever do that to you? It's like,
of
"Well,
course.
my science project's due tomorrow." I'm like, "What?" And if you saw
And
my own science project, I'm like, "You're barking up the wrong tree, sweetheart." That's like, not a
trust me,
scientist.
I'm sure my husband and I stayed up until 2 in the morning to finish that friggin' thing. But
Oh,
but
man.
now that you have your open door, though,
Yeah.
see it as a time to reclaim, because here's the thing, and I feel like a lot of parents are missing this. This is another transition, another life transition. How do we relate to adult children? You have a lot of parents who want to be perennial parents, and
Yeah.
they don't respect the adult child's right to autonomy.
Yeah.
And they have a right to autonomy. I expect
That's a
my
good word.
children, my kids
Yeah.
started getting married and started whatever. I was like, here's the thing: Joyce is now your first family. Me, dad, and your brothers, we are your family of origin. So all the decisions you make now, you make together with Joyce about what is best for your union with Joyce. This is before they had 3 kids.
It's a
And then
great way to
I would,
phrase that. I really love that because that's what I'm trying. That's what like we're doing, but that's a really good way to put that into words because I can feel us doing that. And like like somebody will call home and say, "What do you think I should do?" I'm like, "That decision does not belong with me," and I'll
yep, yep, which is
take
great,
that
because
over.
what you're saying though when you do that, Elizabeth, is you're saying, I have faith in your capability. I have
Good.
faith in your ability
So
with
do
your
I.
partner to decide what
It's
is the
really
right thing
hard
for
to
you.
figure out when they oh, yeah, it's like this it is a dance, like, ho when do you need me? When do you not? When do you
Yep.
it's really interesting, so, yeah, I'm learning, it's and they're pretty young still, so they're in
Yeah,
their 20s, and I think the 20s are brutal. I think
I
20s are
agree. And
my
I
own
would
20s, I
call
remember my own 20s, I'm like, "Oh my god."
I call them young adults though,
Yeah,
right? In the 20s, at least till their mid 20s for sure.
yeah.
You're still young adult. So it isn't about abandoning kids. It's
No.
about giving them the tools they need to negotiate life, which means we have to let them fail and we have to let them fall, and not too far. You can still be a safety net. Of course, we still helped kids out. We still would now if
Yeah,
they need help. It's not that, but it's not centering your adult child's life, not expecting them to center their life on family of origin.
beautiful. Beautifully put. Thank you. This is so much fun having you on. Thank you for doing this, and thank you for sharing so much time with us. I mean, it's fabulous.
Sure.
Do you want to
I
just
loved it.
give people a little bit of your new book? And are you in pre-order yet with the new book? Everybody,
We're not.
we're gonna put all the links to her books up. We're gonna put her bio, her website. Oh, don't worry, we'll get you on a blog and get everybody
Yeah,
buying.
I love it.
New one. Where are we at with that? Are you pre-order?
No, the new one doesn't come out until September of
Okay,
26.
so not yet.
So
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
even think it's pre-ordering now. Um,
I'll check
but
though. Yeah, but
please
that
do.
one behind you, yeah. How
But too much definitely is.
when did too much
Hmm?
is too much out, right? It's out and
Yeah, it
available.
came
Okay, I'll
out
go get that.
October of 24.
Okay. Yeah, so it's been around for like a year, almost a year. You're about to have
Yep,
a birthday for your book.
I sure
I
am.
love book birthdays. All right. Is there anything else? So I'll put all your links up, and I'm going to go get your books too, and I'll leave little Amazon reviews and fun stuff like
Oh,
that.
thank
Fun.
you.
I didn't
I
want
want to make
to
sure that your audience gets the free gift.
free
So
gift.
terrycole.com/HFC for your free gift.
Okay, and maybe we'll do a little book club with your book or something like that. We'll figure it out over on Best Ever You
Great.
because our audience wraps around people and their books and so forth. And
Well, I super appreciate you
oh,
having me on.
appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Is there anything else? Have we
I feel
covered
like we
everything?
covered it all.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us in both video form and audio form and social media form. We'll make sure that's what we should do. We should let people know where you are in social media.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you like Instagram or
I
LinkedIn? Or
love.
where are you?
I hang out on Instagram the most. It's just at Terry Cole.
Okay.
Um, that's really where I go. And I also have my website, terrycole.com, which you said at the top. And I have a podcast that I've had for 10 years called The Terry Cole Show. You should come
Oh,
on there, Elizabeth.
oh my God, I would love to be on there. If people want to get a hold of you, do you like people to DM you, email you, go through your contact form on your website? Where are you on that?
I'm in contact. Go to the website, contact form, and I have a really amazing community that people are welcome to join as well called TCM, where we meet every single week and just
Oh,
I
cool.
answer questions. I do live coaching every week in my community.
How much does it cost? Is it free or does
It's
it cost?
$29 a month, I think,
Oh,
something
that's
like
not
that.
at all. That'd be fun.
Nope.
And how many people
And
are
I
in
go
the
live
group?
every single week.
Oh, neat. How many people are in a group? Like just generally.
Meaning in that group, I think probably the whole community is probably 300 people.
Oh, that's lovely.
But
That's
the people
yeah,
who show up live, though, you probably have like 40 to 50 people every week live on the call. So I answer every single question. Like every question
oh,
gets
that's
answered.
neat. Okay. Beautiful. All right. Well, big hugs. Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much for
much.
being here. Thank you, everybody, in our 16th year. And thank you. I want to just really quick shout out Mel again, too. And then we're going to do your free
Mm,
gift again one more time, too. But, you guys really, I have thousands of messages from you all in my
oh,
DMs. I read every single one of them over the weekend and yesterday. And we had gifts showing up at the house here. Oh,
baby.
God, my baby. So thank you all because she was like her own little life coach, I swear. By the end of it, she would like come out here and she would have listened to this whole conversation, Terry, the whole entire thing. She would have been right here going, she's cool. We're honed in. I could always tell when I had a cool guest on because she'd be like, yeah, I'm right here. I'm listening. I'm with you, kind of thing. Or she'd
I
sit over
love it.
here on the armchair. So it was pretty fun. But anyway, all right. Enough about Mel and me and stuff. But okay, we're going to go get your free gift, everybody. Terri Cole, TerriCole.com/HFC for the free gift. All right. Mwah. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Take care.